I am the end of the words. First things first, did I question myself and not start doing this video for 15 minutes because I was wondering if I should change my shirt so I wouldn't have two videos right after each other with a different shirt on? Yes, because I did. I did think that, and I committed to just doing it. And whenever I upload it, it's going to bother the shit out of me, but gotta deal with it. Gotta deal with it. Didn't want to change my shirt. Now, if you're asking, have I done that before? Yes, I have. I have changed my shirt so I wouldn't have the same shirt in two videos, and immediately regretting it now. Wish I would have changed it. But Geek Love, Katherine Dunn, originally published 1989. Well, I don't know who it's by. This is a vintage collection or something along those lines. This is a vintage contemporary edition. This was published in June 2002. Softback. Much in the vein of, well, the only way it's in the same vein with Bookman's Tale. Is that the name of it? Yes. This book captured my heart for many different reasons, for vastly different reasons. But Katherine Dunn's Geek Love tells the story of a carny family, and the mother and the father have created their own carny freak show by injecting the pregnant mother with radioisotopes and chemicals and crazy concoctions to get these mutations in their kids, and that's how they've formed their freak show and their family. We have Arty, who is this kind of a shark boy, kind of an aqua boy who has fins and is very, very mutated. A pair of Siamese twins, the one set of legs, two different torsos and bodies. They share some of the same organs, so I think torsos might be connected somewhere. This is the universal sign for connected torsos. And then we have albino hunchbacked named Elly, who is where the book is kind of based from. She's kind of the rock in the story where I'll get into it, but there's two stories that she is part of both of them as opposed to everybody else is only part of one or the other. Kind of. But we also have Chick, the youngest, who outwardly zero mutations. They actually thought he was normal, and come to discover he has this crazy telekinesis and I think slight telepathic powers, but very slight. More of an empathy type of power, but absolutely absurd telekinesis, to the point where the dad would take him on trips to go and steal people's wallets, but Chick would be at a hotel and still steal the wallets. He could take the money out of the wallet without them feeling it and then shuffle it along the ground and up into his dad's pocket. They would go to casinos and Chick would be back at the hotel and still be able to tell him, what card's what or how to, cheat to win at the casino. But back to Elly. This story is told in two different time periods. One being the kind of heyday of the freak show and the main time that the family's all together and doing their work. The other being the drastic future. Drastic. I don't know if it's drastic, it's the future. But the freak show is done. Elly lives in an apartment. And she's kind of telling her story and kind of trying to figure out what this girl is who, I don't know how cryptic to be. I don't think I'm giving anything away. I'm finding it hard to remember where the actual reveals were, because this book is so absurd and so well written that they come and they go and they come and they go and they just keep stacking. And the characters change in front of your eyes. Much like their own mutations, the personalities and the characters themselves mutate throughout the book. Most of them do. But it's Elly trying to see what her daughter is up to. Her daughter doesn't know that she's hers. You learn that story later, but goes back and forth between Elly trying to get to know her daughter and then meeting this woman who has been buying people's mutations off them That's a weird way to put it. She paid for this woman who had like super long hair, super long pubic hair. She paid her to burn it off, like things like that, just sadistic, kind of masochistic things. And then in the heyday of the freak show, it tells about, you know, them doing their performances, of how they evolved with their performances. The Siamese Twins play piano together. Aquaboy does a crazy water show. Obviously, his name's Aquaboy. Ollie doesn't really have any talents, so she kind of is like the barker, if you will, although she's not very good at it. So she kind of just sells tickets and collects money. Chick never really has a performance, because they think that the government would take over and the government would come investigate him and study him if they found out he had these crazy telekinetic powers. But as we read this and we see the characters growing, we see them becoming older, we see them adapting, adjusting, and changing to their conditions around them. Arty, the Aquaboy, has a very Manson-esque type of personality where he's constantly in charge. He believes he's in charge from day one. He's very independent, but it's almost like he needs the people around him to be independent. He needs people to rely on him, so he is independent. He has like a complex where he thinks he needs to be this special, this above everybody person. He constantly gets mad that the twins outsell him in tickets, although that is justified. He eventually does sell more tickets and goes on and on, but he eventually starts like a religion, and this religion is all based upon how you need to give yourself over to him by giving up your perfection. So he actually hires a surgeon to remove body parts to make them like him, where they're just stumps, because Arty has flippers. By the way, the family's called the now, it's probably incorrectly said, but the way I say it is Binewski. It's there's actually an N in it, so that can't be right. Binewskis. Binewskis, I guess is what it would be. I said Binewski the whole time I was reading it. This is what we do. We read books. We read them how we want. We change names. You can change names. But a lot of drama between Arty trying to take the power away from his dad, who has run the carnival since his dad ran it. His dad, Grandpa, is now actually in an urn, like strapped to the front of the RV or one of the trucks. It's crazy. There's myriad different other characters in here that are great too. There's the guy who like runs the cats. He runs the cats. The guy who raises the cats, the tigers, the lions, the bears. No bears. The bear's not a cat. I just got excited. But he's a great. I think his name's Horst, maybe something like that. Maybe way off with that. I just wanted to flip through to see if it popped out at me. It doesn't look like it is. But eventually, Arty takes complete control of the entire carnival. Has things his way. His religion takes off. Just craziness ensues. The twins are two vastly different people, so everybody who knows them kind of likes one and dislikes the other. That plays into the story. Chick actually starts to like study with the surgeon to become kind of he helps with the pain. He blocks all the pain. He learns the ways of the body and then can like telekinetically close off the pain receptors, I guess you could say. There's so much different shit going on in this book that it's hard to even explain, but it has such a contemporary feel to it. It has such this book could be written today. That's how advanced it seems. The fact that this book was written in 1989 astonishes me, and that was one of the negatives I had with it. Is it took me 40 pages before I checked the copyright date and saw that it was 89 and said, oh, so this is why this didn't happen, because there was no cell phones. This didn't happen because the communication isn't where it is. This didn't happen because the internet wasn't around. And once I got that, I was sold. Because I started reading this book prior to reading my last two books. I read the first 5 pages and I said, I don't want to read this right now. I read something else. Finished that. Started reading this again, read 5 pages, said, I'm going to read something else. Really committed to it. And I can't remember every book I read this year so far. I think this is 45, 46. But it's absolutely in the top three. I love this book. I love this book. And geek love doesn't stand for like a nerd or like somebody who's just really good at their homework. Geek in this vernacular is a geek is kind of somebody that the carnival has, if I'm under the correct assumption, because it was mentioned for a while, but it was at the beginning. Forget it. Geek stands for a show where chickens get their heads bitten off by a guy or a woman, and that person is called a geek. That's their show. That's what they do. Um, Other crazy characters in here is the bagman, who has just one eye because he tried to commit suicide and all of his face is blown off, but he only has one eye, and he keeps a bag over his head that basically just keeps all the meat in it. The character creation in this is phenomenal. The separation of the individual characters is flawless. It's so good. Everybody has their direct personality, which mutates different ways as well. I can't describe how much this book changed my mind on carnivals. I actually saw a carnival at a local, like in a mall parking lot, and I wanted to be a part of it. As crazy as it is, as crazy as this whole family is, it was such a drama, but there was so much. I had so much invested in it because I was invested in the characters. The modern story, the not the passenger with the carnival, but Ollie living in an apartment. She befriends this woman in the hopes that she's gonna, take care of business and stop her from doing what she's doing. I love this book. Please read Geek Love. By the way, Katherine Dunn, I think she just passed away this year. I just saw an article. I think it was May 16th. At least the article was written. I don't know when she passed, but May 16th of this year she passed. So I wish that I would have read this sooner. I don't know why. It's not like I could have called her and said, good job. But I will be searching out more Katherine Dunn stuff because this book was head and shoulders above what I expected. A book I picked up from Goodwill on a whim, just because I read the back real quick and it said, it's a story of a carny family. That's all I read. That's it. I didn't read the rest. But I highly recommend this book, especially if you're into like some science fantasy stuff. If you're into some mythical, magical stuff, some scientific stuff, or just even like a family drama. Because for all intents and purposes, at the bones, at the core of this book, it's a family drama, and the individual mutations, the individual powers, the individual, you know, deficiencies in these people are. It just leads to it. It just lends to the family drama. It just adds more fuel to the family drama fire. And I really recommend this. I really recommend this. Geek Love, Katherine Dunn. Check it out. If you've read it, let me know what you thought. If you haven't, pick it up. I highly recommend it. My rating for this book, it's going to be a high one. I'm trying to think of what I gave Bookman's Tale because I can't. I might want to go back and change that if I didn't give a book. I can't give it 10. It's as simple as that. 10, there's no such thing as a perfect book. I can't give a book a 10. I got to give it a 9. This is a 9 out of 10. It's a solid 9 out of 10. I want to go 9 1/4. I want to go 9 1/4, but I haven't done quarters yet, only halves, so I can't do it. So a strong 9. I don't like saying strong either. High 9. Nope. It's a 9. 9 out of 10. Geek Love, Katherine Dunn. Read it.